Hello everybody, John here. Today it's May the 22nd. This is my hive and it swarmed at about 12:30. It was taken off and I filmed a little bit of that, and I was hoping that it would land somewhere close, but it didn't. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to go through it and see what's in there, see if I can find some capped queen cells and just kind of see where they stand. But definitely looks like about half of the workforce has moved out. So I'm going to quickly just open it up and kind of go through it and see what we got here. At the very end. They haven't filled the last bar up yet, but the second to the last bar here is their started comb, and they do have a little bit of brood in that comb. Got a few capped brood here, lots of drones, and also some drone brood. A little bit of drone brood on this side, and then honey nectar at the bottom. An empty bar that they haven't built comb on yet. I'm kind of surprised they didn't fill these other bars of comb out, top bars with comb, before they left. Here we go. Oh, we've got stuff happening on this bar. You can see right here we've got a queen cell, 1, 2, 3 queen cells that are capped, and we have one cupped right here. So 1, 2, 3 queen cells that are capped. So we know that this hive did swarm today. There's another nice looking one here on the end. Go on through it here and see. So what did I say? We have 3 queen cells capped for sure. And this one is mostly full of drone. Got 1 queen cell on it. It's not capped, and then here's another queen cell, and it has a larvae in it, so, but it's not capped yet. Maybe you can see into that one there. Wrong side here. So that's 4 queen that are being made. Another empty bar. I'm really surprised if they was going to swarm that they didn't go ahead and fill out some of these empty bars. That sealed pretty good together. Several drone. A couple more queen cups. A little bit of brood on there. And again, an empty bar that they didn't fill out. So that's about 3 or 4 empty bars that they didn't go ahead and make wax on. Got a lot of brood on this one. I am amazed at how many drones are left in this hive. Nice brood pattern there. This bar is pretty full of brood on both sides. More brood and drone brood. So much drone. Here's a lot of drone brood that's not been capped yet, and regular brood. There's a few that haven't been capped yet. Another empty one. There are festooning on this one. Maybe they'll fill that out with comb, since they don't have nothing to do while the queen's hatching. Solid brood, both sides. Queen cups, lots of brood. Things are a whole lot calmer in here now, since half of them have left, so it's a heck of a lot easier to work on it. Here is another queen cell that is capped. What are we up to? 5. Lots of brood on this one. And we have brood again. I kind of see why they have decided to swarm, because we do have a lot of bars here with brood on them, and that leaves very few down here in the honey stores. So it'll be interesting to see what we have on the last 8 bars, 7 or 8 bars here. Once again, nectar. I'm assuming they'll start filling all these empty cells here with nectar and making honey. Do have a few drone on that one, but we're empty now of the worker brood. Empty bar festooning there. Tell you what, she left the whole place with a lot of brood. Here we go again. We have brood that's hatched out. You can see the circle here where these have all hatched out, and we still got them coming around the edge here, a few more. Same way this side. This is all still going to hatch, and they've started backfilling this with nectar. Drone. That is amazing. I do not understand why they're making so many drones. Here's a couple more queen cells, and there's larvae in there. So what was we at? 5 maybe? 6, 7, 8? At least 8 now. These have not been capped yet, but that gets us up to 8 queen cells. And a good portion. Mistake. I am going to put that one back in there, and maybe they can fix that. That was fresh comb that had just been built this year in the last few weeks. And I tilted it too much, but it's still hanging in there. So I am going to try, and that is really fresh comb, and they've got it full of brood, drone brood. I haven't done that too many times in the last few years, but there was one there. This one here again, this is older comb. It's a couple-year-old comb, so it's a lot stouter, and I can handle it a little easier. See how dark it is at the ends here. Full of drone again. Mostly drone. So they're going, I don't know where they're going to take all them drone, but they're going to do something with them. Here's an empty bar that they started filling here. And then our final bar here is an empty bar that they're festooning on. So, the bees have swarmed today. There's a lot of young brood that they've got coming in here. There's not a lot of honey stores, so they're mostly concerned with building up their colonies and splitting so that they can continue on. So right now, for the next probably 2 to 3 weeks, the queen is at least 8 days it's been capped. So in another 7 to 8 days, the queens will start to hatch and kill the other ones. And that leaves a couple of weeks probably then for her to mating flight. So we're looking about at least 2 to 3 weeks, and that queen may be back in here then starting to lay again. So that gives this hive 3 weeks to do nothing but go out and collect honey and pollen. So hopefully in that amount of time this hive will build back up. Since then it'll be in the middle of June. I have a feeling that they shouldn't swarm again. And this is the colony that I took the queen out and split of earlier. So it was a smaller colony. She built it enough up to swarm in, let's see, that was in March 26th, I think. April, May, 2 months she built it up enough that she could swarm and split the hive. So we'll see what happens here as the summer goes on. It depends on what we got with the flowers, nectar, and dearth if it happens, to see what they can do. But I just wanted to go through here and just see how the hive looked after swarming. So we know we've got several queen cells started, a few that haven't been sealed yet, and like I say, in about a week or so, something should be hatching, and we'll see what happens with them. Again, like I said, last year whenever this happened, once the queen was out mating flights and stuff, they really filled this hive up with honey, and you can tell they've taken several maybe honey and pollen with them. A lot of times people think you might need to feed your bees, and you do. There's times when you need to supplement them with sugar, 50-50 sugar, but the spring like this, the swarms, when they leave their hive, they've got a full load on them, and they really probably don't need fed at this time of year, as long as the flowers are blooming and everything. And but now if you catch a swarm in July to August, you find a later swarm, of course, yes, they need to be fed just so they can build their hive up enough for wintertime, enough stores. So again, thank you for watching. This is quite interesting watching this happen, and I like to film a little bit of it so I can keep it for my records and know next year what's going on and what happened and how the hive looked. It gives me a baseline of what all the hives here might be doing. I have another one over here that should swarm. I thought it was going to swarm before this one, but for some strange reason they left first. My beehive over here, they're hanging outside of it pretty good, and they've been doing fire drills, I think it's called. So they'll probably be leaving just as soon as it gets nice again. The problem is there's a chance of rain for the next 5 or 6 days, so it'll be interesting to see what they do. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and God bless.